Hello and welcome to the One Word Show. That feels weird to say. That's different. You might notice something different if you're watching this on YouTube. We're on video now. We have a video version of the show available now. And I don't really know what to say about that. It's really, really cool. So I'm joined by Paul today. Paul, how do you feel about the honor of being our very first guest on the brand new One Word Show on video?
I think it's incredible. I'm very excited to hear what I'm in store for.
And you really mean that, because once again, I managed to not tell the guest what we're doing. So you don't know anything about this show yet?
No, not anything.
Besides the name, which I just gave away.
Right.
So how this works is I have 2 words for you. Each were randomly generated using a random word generator I found on the internet because I was too lazy to, find a real one. I have 2 words for you. And you're going to choose one of those 2 words, and that's going to be the subject of this show. And we're just going to talk about that word for a little while.
Okay.
Okay? Are you ready for your words?
I'm ready.
Word number 1 is beard.
Okay.
Word number 2 is heart.
Definitely go with heart.
Heart. All right. Why not beard? I can't help but notice, you're pretty clean shaven.
I tried a beard once when I was up in Canada with my son fishing, and I came back looking horrible with red scruffy stuff sticking all over the place. And my wife said if I ever grew a beard, that would be the end. So it kind of helps define things.
I can't grow a beard.
Yes.
Like
where I can't either.
Look at this. I can actually show this off. We're on camera. This is like going 2-3 months without shaving. So I can't grow a beard. It just comes in patches, and it's really light, like blondish red. So like you really can't see it even when it's there.
Yeah.
It does not stick out very well. So I'm kind of in beards, but we're going to talk about the word heart. So what does the word heart mean to you?
Well, on its most basic level, it's something that keeps you alive, but on its much deeper level, I think it describes passion, commitment, depth, something that I think if people would actually search it a little bit, they might learn something.
And are you talking about like big beating human hearts, or like the heart shape that we now have?
Probably neither. The big beating heart, is sort of like, when I ran companies, I always said that process and profit are important for survival, just like the heart is, and oxygen is for the human body, but it's not your reason for being. In actuality, purpose is really your reason for being as an organization, but also as a person. It's what is your purpose and what is meaningful to you, and so, the heart that you see on Valentine's Day is sweet, but it's kind of silly too. When the purposefulness of your heart really is what in the end defines you. And I went through a cancer journey where I was I had basically a terminal condition with cancer, but I survived. And one of the reasons, when people ask me why did I survive, and I said, after much thought and months of thought actually, that one of the reasons I lived is because I already had lived. And so, what does that mean? I made a lot of mistakes in life, but I had done some things that met my passion, which meant my purpose. And that made me feel like I had met the conditions of my heart.
Wow. So we typically end up with 3 different types of episodes on this show. Just because, it's all improv and no one plans what we're going to talk about. We end up with option 1, which is just, ha 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 ha, look at these puns.
Yeah.
It's funny. Option number 2 is, here's a deep conversation with some philosophical meaning and some purpose. And option number 3 is the really weird stuff.
Yeah.
So I think we're falling into category 2, and that's great. but I like throwing a bit of the other categories in too.
Okay, super. Let's do
So you mentioned Valentine's Day.
it. Mhm.
And Valentine's Day, is the holiday of hearts. It's been thrown around. Marketing has made it what it is. And
It's a Hallmark day, and Valentine's Day really has a special impact on my life. I've been married almost 39 years, and it happens to be the day before my wife's birthday.
wow.
So I tried one time, and by the way, my wife really isn't like this, but I tried one time to sort of lump the two together, and that sort of was a massive failure. But now in our life, we've gotten to the point where we don't celebrate the way we used to, so it doesn't matter. But it is kind of funny how we're so conditioned as men to run out and get a whole bunch of silly stuff for women to try to, I don't know if we're trying to win them over again or what.
Convince them that we
Convince
care.
them that we care, or that maybe we're pretty cool or whatever it is.
What's your go-to cheesy Valentine's Day present?
Well, the easiest one is something from Saruji's,
Ooh.
just because
Chocolate?
because everybody likes chocolate. But in my earlier days, I made some really wonderful choices. Like I got they had these nifty hand vacuums, that I thought, boy, she would really like this. Folks out there, don't buy your sweethearts anything like an appliance for Valentine's Day.
Got you a
But
microwave.
that was about 37 years ago, and so it didn't take me, maybe another 30 years to kind of learn.
I think, I'm still learning. I've been with my girlfriend for about 5 years now.
Okay.
And I've done some really good presents and some presents that didn't go out how I planned. I remember, I want to say it was the second year we were together, I got her, a nice big old vase with a bunch of flowers in it. It was really pretty, right? Because flowers are nice, right?
Yep.
People love flowers. But she was really worried because one of the primary flowers in the bouquet was lilies. And apparently they're really, really, really poisonous to cats.
Huh.
And she had cats, and she was terrified for the entire day that her cats would get into it and eat them.
Was there anything Freudian in that you maybe don't like the cats so much? And
I don't think so. I don't think so. I like her cats. And no, neither one of her cats ended up mysteriously eating the stuff. No, that's a good thing. We don't want dead cats. That's not cool. All right, so my next question, this is the fun part of the question, okay? You know those heart-shaped little chalk candies?
Yep.
Do you like them?
No, I don't. But I was hiking in Barrett's Creek on Sunday, and I happened to see one. If you know Barrett's Creek, it's a trail where a lot of fat bicyclists go and ride. And
To be clear, they're riding fat bikes.
But yeah,
they're not fat.
Hey, thank you for clarifying that, because that's exactly how he said it. No, cyclists riding fat bikes, not fat cyclists riding bikes. Excellent point. But so here's a trail that's just really covered, and there's this little heart-shaped chalk-like thing that said on it, "Call me," and I just thought, wow, this is, as well-traveled as that somehow held up. So it's possible that those things have the life of nuclear waste or something, that you can't destroy them.
I would not be that surprised. So I absolutely can't stand those things. I think they're probably the worst form of candy in existence. But, they've got tons of messages. You said "call me" as one of them, right?
Right.
And the limit is I want to say 12 letters on them. So my question is, what would you write on yours if you could make your own? And add it to the pool of ones you can get for the rest of the time that those things are on for sale. What would you write on yours?
Well, let me think about that for a second, but let me just say this. If it's only 12 letters or 12 characters, I wish, considering the current state of our political situation, that we would actually have tweets with 12 or under characters.
That would be
certainly make
lovely.
things a lot simpler. Well, I'm not really creative that way. I just hate those candies so much.
How about "these suck"?
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm giving you this because I hate you.
Here, have a 2-pound bag of
Yeah.
the candy hearts.
And-
Is this a present for me? No, I'm breaking up with you.
Yeah, and choke on them. That wouldn't be too kind.
How about do not eat? Non-edible. There we go. I think we got it. So, you shared some fun little tales of finding those, and also, some personal experience. And you mentioned really hearts being a lot like, drive and purpose and passion. What's your passion?
Well, right now, my passion is to figure out a way of kind of rekindling the democratic small d dialogue between people, regardless of what their background is. I mean, a democracy is built on the fact that we must disagree on some things, but we should passionately agree on others. And so where I'm trying to build that dialogue is around food, creating a local food economy, creating opportunities where we can eat, share a meal together and share conversation, share ideas, and share what we care about, and even share differences. I think that's the core of democracy. I think that's who we are as a country. I think where our political parties have put us is just in a really difficult situation. And I'm talking both of them. We deserve something better, and I think we on the local level can make that happen. And so that's what I'm driving to make happen.
That sounds really awesome. And I do know that you work a lot extensively now with food.
Right.
You've got a rather big a project you're a part of. Can you explain that a little bit, just so our viewers can?
Yeah, I'm the chairman of the board of the Farmery, which is a local food initiative where we're trying to, where we're going to be growing food as a social enterprise so that we can actually create a local food economy. We want to get local, organic, healthy food into our school systems and have kids, touch and feel it. We want to actually start growing much more food locally, much more healthy food, and we want to start creating that whole dialogue that I just talked about, around something really exciting and having Northeast Wisconsin's Silicon Valley moment being around high and low tech food, land, water, something that we're really good at, and making that a way of revitalizing our economy and our communities, and making this a place that we can be really proud of. So I think the vision is small, but it's huge, and it's really exciting.
That sounds wonderful. I mean, I love food, as much as the next guy. So I get that. Food makes me happy, and food can make everyone happy and bring us together. So, what my passion is? Kind of makes sense. I'm on a show that's kind of funny. It's an improv show with comedy, right? I just want to make people happy.
Good.
That's my goal. I want to make your day just a little bit nicer. I don't know which camera I'm pointing at. One of them. You. I want to make your day happier. And if your day was made happier by this show, or if you had fun, you listened to some of these stories and you thought, wow, that was really neat, you can like this video. You can subscribe to One Word Show on YouTube or iTunes or SoundCloud. We've got a whole list of places that we've got our content available. And if anyone wants to ask you about, the Farmery or anything you're doing with that, or is really interested or inspired by that project, where can they find more information?
You can find more information at www.farmery, that's FARMORY.org. And kind of getting to your goal of bringing happiness to people. In this country, we measure GDP, which is gross domestic product, which is based upon sort of a capitalist model of how much you make. The country of Bhutan measures gross domestic happiness. And I think maybe if we took a little more from the country of Bhutan, maybe a little less of our thing, or maybe somehow put them in a nice stew and mixed them together, we'd have the kind of optimal situation.
That sounds pretty neat. Well, thank you for coming on, and, it was kind of a weird experience. We were doing a whole bunch of setup going, well, how are we doing this? Because it's our first time doing this on video, but I think it went great, and really appreciate you joining us.
I love the idea. Keep doing it.
All right, thank you very much. And thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.